What this bill will do is it will do for mobile home parks what the state has already done for rental units, apartment units in the state of California. It will establish vacancy on rent control districts, those districts that want to adopt, those localities want to adopt rent control. It will impose, not impose, but require vacancy decontrol. It will not impact any existing rent control jurisdiction. So if an individual is renting in a rent control district in a trailer park, their rent will not be affected, and they can stay there for as long as they wish under the existing rent control. It will moves out. Under the law, the mobile park owner is required to give the new tenant who may purchase the trailer the same rent that they gave to the previous renter in another case. And therein lies the issue. If right now there's only about 15% of the jurisdictions have rent control, but because it is such an emotional issue, and because local governmental bodies, city councils, boards of supervisors are directly impacted by emotional issues, at any point in time, a group can pack the city council halls and send a very strong message to a city council or a supervisor member who doesn't vote their way. But does that make it that they can simply increase the equity of their trailer, which is, for all intents and purposes, just a car? And sure, you don't live in your car. You don't live.
Okay.
All right. It is a vehicle. It is not real estate. Okay, so.
I need order, please, in the audience, and let him finish. There were some housekeeping issues that I'd like to go over once you finish your testimony.
Right.
Thank you.
I just want to point out this demonstrates what I'm talking about. For local jurisdictions, this is difficult to stand up to. So anyway, we're not doing anything different in this bill other than what is done for rental units in this state. And I introduced the bill primarily based on the fact of what happens in a rent control district when the trailer is sold. The trailer owner gets the value of the property. The property owner doesn't get the value of his property because the property owner is constrained by rent control and vacancy control. And it seems to me that is not a fair resolution. It is fair not to impact any existing renter, for them to continue their lives. But the question is, when they want to sell their trailer, you know, there are many people that buy trailers in non-rent control districts. They don't anticipate that the value is going to go up in their trailer. And the value goes up only because it is on property which is the value of which is by the local jurisdiction. So this is an unconstitutional ordinance, so but then we understand the hardship.
Madam Chair, Catherine Borg with the Western Manufactured Housing Community Association. We are the sponsor of the bill. It's important to reiterate that AB 761 does not raise the rent on any current tenants of mobile home communities, but allows for the one-time increase on turnover and then re-rent controls the space. Today, you will decide whether a public policy that takes advantage of two captive owners, the park owner and future residents, should be utilized to create wealth for some lucky individuals who live in that park.
Madam Chair and members, Don Gilbert with Edelstein, Gilbert, Robeson, and Smith for California Mobile Home Park Owners Alliance. We support the bill. Vacancy decontrol is a very fair and tested middle ground. Many rent control jurisdictions for mobile home parks already have vacancy decontrol. The sky has not fallen. It's an equitable solution. I want to emphasize, a middle ground. Obviously, many of the members of my client would like to see rent control go away. Obviously, many mobile home owners would like to see rent control all over the state. This really is, a good compromise. And we feel good about the fact that we're supporting a compromise, not going for an extreme solution to eliminate rent control. And so we ask for your aye vote.
Madam Chair, members, Steve Carlson, on behalf of the Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles, we support the measure. I had the privilege of working with then Senator Calderon as chair of Judiciary Committee 13, 14 years ago when the original Costa-Hawkins bill was passed, and I've been working on the issues of rent control in California for nearly 30 years. Costa-Hawkins, despite the sky is falling rhetoric of opponents, really served to basically stabilize the political situation and the economic situation for rental housing in California, and it can do the same, and you should allow it to do the same for mobile home parks. Rent control, we believe, is a flawed, counterproductive policy. The fact of life in California. It is the only situation that I know of where one private party is forced to subsidize another private party, notwithstanding the income of either. If on a social good, issues like welfare, food stamps, Medicare, if we feel it is a social good, it's a societal obligation to do that, not the obligation of one person to another person. So we would urge you to look at that. And again, this is not getting rid of rent control. This is balancing interests and rights in a way that has been proven to work in another very important segment, and it has served the test of time for rental housing, and it can do so for mobile home parks. So please vote aye on this measure.
Madam Chair and members, Dave Melton with the California Association of Realtors, and for the reasons stated by Assemblymember Calderon and his supporting witnesses, we are very much in support of 761.
Anyone else in support?